already I'm starting to meet some very nice people. I went to the brunch with the farmers on Saturday morning. So I picked a table that had about 7 kids sitting around it and a few adults. So I went to the kids and I said, how many of you ever been in juvenile court? I said, well, let me ask you this. How many of you know someone who has an opioid addiction? 3 of the 7 kids raised their hand. Now these are like good kids, 3 out of 7. I said, well, how many of you have ever met the judges at the juvenile court? None of them. They didn't even know who the judges were. I said, well, what would you think of it if the judge from the juvenile court came to your high school and talked to you and answered your questions? Oh, we think that would be a good idea. And I can see the parents over there kind of shaking their heads too, like that would be a good idea. So that's what I plan on doing. I plan on being kind of a proactive person. I like young people. I want to go to the detention home. I'd at least like to sit there and talk with the kids. I taught school for 5 years. I love the kids that I taught. I mean, I had the best kids when I taught, and they're still my friends. And they had, my last class had their 30th class reunion for their graduation a couple years ago. They invited me to be there. They wanted me to be there. And I felt so good that I went in and, you know, they're old now. And, oh yeah, so I mean, but it was so nice to see them and be able to see that they've grown up to be good human beings, and they have families. And you know what my motto is, it's if we have strength in our families, we have strength in our community. We've got to help these kids to know that there's some hope out there. Because if there's some hope out there, you're not going to want to stick a needle in your arm. You're going to say, there's some hope for me. So that's why I have Mike on my team. Because, where's Mike at? Oh, because he's the kind of guy that will come in and say, I've got resources in the community, I've got nonprofits that maybe can help these kids. That's why I've got labor over here that want to help me, because they know that they can be out there talking to kids, saying, you know what? You got to stick with it. There's going to be hope, because we're going to try to make things better in this community so that there are those jobs out there for you, so you don't have to turn to crime and you don't have to turn to drugs. You don't have to be a big shot because you got a gun. So I got a lot of ideas. I'm willing to work hard, and if we save our youth, then I don't have to worry about them being part of the adult system, which I've been working with for 40 years. I'm going to ask that you guys help me as much as you can, because I realize doing something like this needs a lot of support and a lot of help. And so I appreciate whatever you can do for me to help me win this race.